Vande Gurunam Charanarvinde Vande Gurunam Charanarvinde Sandharshita Swatma Sukhavabodhai Nishreya Jangali Kayamane Sansara Halahalam Davanalam Moha Shanti Vande Gurunam Charanarvinde. My early morning salutations to the lotus feet and the lotus sandals and the lotus feet of all those saints, all those rishis, all those sadhus, all those munis, all those yogis, all those gurus. Welcome to today's program. We started doing the asanas, zero resistance and resistance. So we need to understand, so resistance, low resistance, high frequency, that is called endurance, that's called high intensity. The lowest resistance and the highest frequency, highest repetitions when you do, maximum repetitions, highest number of repetitions in the shortest span of time, that's called high intensity. The highest resistance and only one repetition and highest resistance you apply, and that is called lowest intensity. So your fitness, so what you want to achieve, so whether you want to be a power lifter or whether you want to be a speed runner like Usain Bolt, or whether you want to be a 400-meter runner or a triathlon, or whether you want to run a marathon runner, or you want to run a ultra-marathon runner, the difference is all about and intensity. If you want to stay healthy, happy, if your goal is not to be aggressive, if your goal is to program, fire all the neurons in the brain, whereby you activate your 70 trillion cells in the body, your aim is because are you working with the body, are you working with the mind? What is your job? Is it mind-oriented? Is it sitting in front of a laptop or standing and teaching? Or is your job something to do with the physical labor? If you are doing a job of physical labor, then you need to work with the bulk muscles as well. But if your job is to only do sitting in a AC environment and air-conditioned environment and sitting in front of a laptop or a mobile phone, if your job is a sitting job, only a standing job, and which uses you want to have powerful brain, you want to have balanced mind, you want to have a creative mind, then so your fitness is different. So your goal is to fire all the neurons. The more you connect all the neurons, more you fire these neurons, and more balanced your mind, more control over the emotions, and more creative you becomes. Not only logical mind, more creative you becomes. And as all of us we know, the modern lifestyle and the modern jobs, the work what we do, the highest paid jobs are not physical labor jobs, isn't it? Those engineers and those who have been doing all these kinds of the jobs, it is all about now net. It's all about sitting, work from home and sitting in front of a laptop and doing. So when you are operating a laptop, when you are operating a mobile phone, your job is to do only a laptop or a desktop. It's all using your hands. Your hands are having more than 26 muscles, So each part of your finger is having a different locomotor unit that activates so that I can bend only this portion, I can bend this portion, I can bend this portion. So 3 motor units employed in moving each part of this finger. And 3 motor units are involved when I fold my finger like this. So the more motor units you fire, the more motor units you recruit, the more neurons fire. Very simple. That's how. And your fitness, when you say, when your mind fitness and the body fitness, when you say, and it's all about the number of motor units you recruit. The highest number of motor units you recruit, the highest firing of neurons happens, and highest wiring of neurons happens. Firing of a cell, nothing but a wiring of your neuron that you are not understanding. A firing of a cell is only the way to fire your neuron here, and that neuron will activate, and that neuron will wire. Wiring means what? Its ability to socialize with other neurons. That's called a wiring. The more wiring you can do, the more creative you can become. So when you have to use a brain power, a mind power, when you want to use like a Buddha, Buddha means the one who learned to program, use entire capacity of his brain. And it takes, and the latest Buddha, the Siddhartha Gautama, so the Buddha, and he is highly intelligent, wisdom oriented. So there are the 3 kinds of the Buddhas: faith oriented, and karma yoga oriented and wisdom oriented. But the latest Buddha is wisdom oriented. It doesn't mean he doesn't have a faith or a karma yoga. Unless you have a surrender, unless you have a devotion, and you won't work. Unless you have an interest, one doesn't work. And work without expectation comes when you're totally devoted to your job. And when you're totally devoted to the job, and when you're totally devoted to the job, when you don't expect anything from the job, and unconditional working, unconditional devotion, unconditional working, without any expectation, working without any expectation, doing everything without any expectation, and what you will acquire enormous amount of true knowledge and true wisdom. And when I say the latest Buddha and is a wisdom oriented means, you should understand already has these 2 qualities called the faith and wisdom. Faith and ability to work hard. As you know, Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, the latest Buddha, slept only 2 hours a day. And 22 hours a day, he went on teaching yoga, went on teaching dharma and the eternal science. And he used to teach in the night and to the gods and angels and aliens, and during the daytime he used to teach to humans, a yogi. And when he becomes selfless, when his entire brain is at work, and when he has a creativity, and he uses all his brain and all his power of the brain for the society. That's why Buddha, when you hear a Buddha, Buddha means everyone cannot be called as a Buddha. Even in Buddhas, there are the varieties called Pracheka Buddha. Means he has not programmed 100% of his brain to the maximum perfection. He is called silent Buddha. He can't teach. He as well has the same ability, same understanding, but he lacks the ability to guide others. Ability to guide others. Every PhD scholar not necessarily a good professor. Same qualifications two professors may be having. One may be working in R&D, one may be working in university. The one who is working in the university will have ability to deliver. But the one who is working in R&D and like me may not have ability to deliver. It is a skill. So silent Buddha to the fully enlightened Buddha, when we talk about the Samyak Sambuddha or when we talk about the Buddha means, so what is the difference between ordinary enlightenment and a Buddha? Ordinary enlightenment means if you clean your mess inside, if you clean your mess, those 14 unwholesome qualities are the triads of the mind which are rooted in ignorance. If you remove, you are called enlightened. But a saint is different from an ordinary enlightened. When you are ready to get enlightened and then you take a vow because you become selfless, oh my God, what's the point in now attaining the immortality? Let me work for entire humanity. Let me not be so selfish. Then he decides to become a saint. Like a Jesus, like a prophet, like a Rama, like a Krishna, like a Guru Nanak, and whom you hear, and the greatest like Nagarjuna, you become. And that decision when you take, and then that day onwards, your job is, it is understood, you won't do any unwholesome actions, you won't do any selfish actions. From that day onwards, you are working for selflessly, you are taking the number of the births after the births, only to program your brain. Perfect, good qualities, not removing just stuff. Already you are ready, you don't have much of stuff inside. You only kept a little stuff left out. Even that little stuff left out, and still you will not get enlightened. That's why he keeps that little stuff over there and he takes a decision to serve humanity. Then onwards his work is to develop perfections. Programming his brain to the highest perfection. Performance of the brain becomes a criteria. Not cleaning of the brain, but performance of the brain. When you say Buddha, brain is high, performs at the highest level what a human brain can perform. And when you read it, right now it looks like a mythology for you, but Buddha's story is a real story. Not only that, even Buddhas before Buddhas. And the King Ashoka has excavated all those places. Even today you will find, along with the archaeological evidence you will find. There is no taboo about it. We must understand. So when this Buddha, he gave one of the discourses called Mahasamaya Sutta. So that indicates what is the kind of the brain power, what a human mind can do it. Charge it. So we have sent a video of when Himalayas formed at that time, the algae in Himalayas, you can see the algae of the Himalayas like this. You can see the green fauna. How many millions years old it is? You can see the quartz here, natural quartz here. So it is Himalayan fauna it is.
Still, it has not become black. And you can see this, the grass. So, you see this tower you see. The color of it, you can see this. So, if I turn, because it's heavy, you can see this. The very expansive stone, rutile, Himalayan rutile, very heavy, huh? Yeah, very heavy. So, the grass trapped when Himalayas, at the time of the Shiva, so when he formed the Jyotirlinga, when he is forming that, so where today, Lord Vishnu, we were telling about Varaha Avatara and Brahma's swan, you see. So in that field, the grass trapped at that time, volcanic, the grass trapped in it, you see the heat you can see, how it is burnt you can see. So it is called a straight line. So every straight line, Durva Yugma. But here it is a grass in straight line. The difference between a Durva Yugma is the two strands coming joining. But the beauty is even a grass attained singularity. In this, you will not find any one grass mixed or entangled, all disentangled. You know, this is a Himalayan rutile, the most expensive rutile. The more number of straight lines you have in it, a straight line is called infinity line, means a straight line, if you go on dividing it, it goes into infinity. Not many people understand. Many people think, get confused between finite and infinite. Even in the finite, it is infinity is there. That's what entropy is all about. You see this straight line, can you divide it to the zero? Impossible. Impossible. That's why a straight line is nothing but a line represents infinity, represents infinity. It is a singularity. So the number of straight lines trapped in it. So your level of mathematics not enough to understand, frankly speaking, mathematica. Like my brain can comprehend to a certain extent, whether it's working or not, whatever you think. If you think you have so much knowledge, think my mind is this stupid fellow talks something. Or if you think this fellow knows something, you can respect it. Whatever the way you can process it, but take it. Whether stupid talking or whether yogi talking, doesn't matter. It is anyway we are zero. No? So, it absorbs any amount of infinity, negativity, entropy, the holder of entropy. And it's very rare. So still I think, I don't know how much these stones are left. I don't think they're on the website. So if you have to ask, you have to request Guru Ma to get this. Very expensive, not available always. Very rarely available. Whatever the lot we got from Himalayas, that fellow gave us. At that time I was explaining them also. This is the grass trapped in this.